Yes, Jenkins not yet done. So only pipeline is pending from Jenkins. Okay. Um, Now we are going to discuss about Ansible. Okay. So just before going to that, what do you know about? Have you heard about this Ansible? What is the purpose of Ansible? Can you able to explain? Hmm. Yeah, yeah, got it. Okay. So yes, yes. So let me take this better. Okay. So I'll try to write here. If it is right, okay. Then otherwise I'll need to go. Oh, still I could not. Okay. I'll open this and I'll try to use this. Okay. Ansible. It is a bit delay. I don't know why. 1 second. Okay. So let's try to adjust. After writing, it is able to display. It's okay. Okay. So what is Ansible? Ansible. Okay. We are going to look at Ansible components like playbooks and why it is good, and what is the use of Ansible and Docker. It is all these things. Okay. So let me share my screen. Better we can discuss here. Okay. What Ansible is for? It is a tool to automate IT tasks. Okay. This is general definition. Okay. So what is IT task? So in our DevOps, you may have you may need to automate the task, and as we have discussed earlier about node and master concepts. For those kind of tasks, we will use this tool. Okay. For example, take a if you want to take a access for other system, okay, but you are in somewhere, if you want to take access other system, so how it is possible, how to automate it, how do we need to connect, so we can use it. By using this we can able to do that. Okay. It is a tool that helps to automate the different IT tasks. Okay. Now the question is, what is example of such task, and why is important, or better to do them automatically rather than manually. Okay. So let's go through the example one by one. Okay. So when you have a complex IT structure with 10 numbers of servers, some IT task can be consuming tedious manually. Okay. So let me show you here. So this, for example, you just consider that you have a 10 IT servers, some servers, okay, IT infrastructure servers, I'm saying. Okay. So if you want to manage it multiple servers at a time, it's very tedious. Tedious in the sense difficult. Okay. For example, imagine a scenario. So where you have a 10 servers where your distributed application is running somewhere, where the applications are running, for suppose. Okay, like this. Okay, some application, my app, one version 1.0, my app, some such kind of, you can consider 10 different type of applications on top of your servers. If you want to manage this, okay, if you want to manage this, definitely you need a automation tool. Let's say you release new application version, for suppose like this. It is my app 2.0. Earlier my app 2.1.0. You released different version. In this context, okay, another scenario where you want to update the versions, for suppose like this. So continuously your updates and release happening. Got it? So in this case, sometimes such upgrades might involve multiple steps. Okay, like restarting the process, reconfiguring the environment, etc. Okay, for example, repeating the task that system administrator perform, and often takes hours manually. It takes hours in manual, right? Such updates, backups, weekly system reboots, creating users, assigning groups, permissions, etc., etc., etc. Such kind of there you need to use automation. Manually it will take hours, maybe days. Sometimes earlier we have seen, just before this era, AI era and automation and DevOps era, we used to do manual things and everything. All manually we used to do. Manual in the sense it takes time. Definitely it will takes times. So that's how. So now, so to avoid that such kind of issues, so in all these scenarios, manual approach will be that you can use SSH into first server and do necessary configuration there, SSH into next server. So some there, like 1 or 10 servers sometimes, like that. Okay, I will take example. So these, let me come here. Okay, no. Okay, for example, this is your system. Sorry. Okay, this is your system, and you do have a multiple servers, like one, two. You can consider, instead of servers you can consider system only. Let's see. So far we can keep here 4 or 5 something. So you just imagine that you have different systems. Okay, so for example, in this different servers, different systems, you need to upgrade, or you need to restart the system, you need to reboot the system, or you need to do automation. You need to do multiple tasks at a time if you want to maintain this at a time. So it will take time. Do it individually, manually, separate. Okay, so what happens is, so it will consume the time. Definitely it will consume the time. Again, this is also should be done simultaneously, like that. So what Ansible doing here? Okay, so and every time if configuration or upgrade and deployments need to happen again and again, you need to start from scratch and go through that whole process again. And especially if it is involved multiple steps, if you have to remember exactly what you need the last time. Okay, so such case, so one approach we have personally seen in my projects also. Okay, so what that was actually, people would just write notes and document Confluence pages, all the things. So they configured or changes in servers, deploy the application, or steps how they installed certain softwares, and what they can remember it, right? Then easy, they need to do it again and again, the same server or another environments. Okay, so if you have these kind of scenarios, these kind of issues with the different systems, okay, manual if you want to do it, definitely it will take a time, right? So to avoid such kind of issues, what we will do is we will manage everything by using this system. Okay, this system you can consider it as a master. Okay, you will connect with this master using SSH connection. SSH. Okay, so have you heard about this SSH? So what is used, and
Uh, I mean, we can
that,
connect uh, remotely to the any systems using SSH.
yeah,
Like
SSL is different. Yeah,
yeah,
SSH
SSL is
is different. This is secure shell.
okay.
This is secure socket layer. So which SSL is used to protect your domains. Okay,
Mm.
SSH is used to, here it will generate one token. So by using the token, you can consider this as a key. For suppose
We can
if you want
host.
to go inside this system or here, so it acts as a key. You can consider like that. Okay, so by using SSH connection, you can able to take the access of your system 1. Okay, this is system 2, and this is system 3, system 4, system 5. Okay, so same way you can also take, I could not see but still I am trying to draw. Okay, anyways. Okay, so now you can consider you got SSH connection for all.
Mm.
Okay, so now you have taken SSH connection for this system and this system. For suppose you can able to access SSH, sorry, system 1. Okay, so if you if you get connect with using SSH, you can able to have access system 2. Okay, if you have SSH connection, you can able to connect with the system 3. Okay, if you have SSH connection, again you can able to access this system 4. The same way system 5 also, which means I'm writing here, which means here I'm writing in the sense what does it mean. So which means we can able to access the system inside our main system. You got it. So this system you can consider this server, you can consider it as a master. Okay, these are all consider, you can consider as a nodes. Node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. So far we do have these many nodes. One node in the sense you can consider this as a one server. Okay, so you can execute all the tasks like updates, deployments, etc. all the servers from our own machine remotely. Okay, instead of going into each server one by one 1 second, so you can do it by writing all the steps,
Master.
configuring, installing and deploying etc using YAML.
Okay.
YAML, which means YAML,
YAML. Yeah.
right? By using YAML file, instead of doing it with manual steps or combination of all the shell script manual steps, okay, you can reuse the same file to execute the same task, sequence multiple times needed. The same server when you are going to upgrade or such kind of task, okay, different environments, when you are trying to create the identical environment, dev environment, staging environment, production environment, like that. Okay, number of these kind of environments also big plus, right? Since humans are prone to make mistakes, or they will forget stuff, because we are humans, we'll generally will do a lot of mistakes. Okay, especially when it comes to the executing the complex sequence of IT tasks, automating with the tools like Ansible. So it is like making it is more reliable, and it's like less likely errors will happen by using this Ansible. So we'll make little less mistakes configuring the servers, deploying in the applications. So what it means, for suppose this is a one your system, for suppose this is one your server. Okay, you have a you example, you as a developer. Okay, you designed one software. Okay, this software you coded everything, you have ready, you made it ready. You want to deploy this system into different servers. Okay, server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4, 5, 6, some kind of, you will create everything in YAML script, YAML. By using YAML script, so you will take the access and control. So where you are not going anywhere physically, somewhere it is in remote, for suppose somewhere it is in remote, you are not going there. So simply using YAML script, you can able to take the access, and here you are just directly deploying your application here. So what happens, automatically it will reflect there. Got it.
Yeah.
And the only thing you have to do in order to execute the Ansible files on the target servers from our own control machine, by using SSH access the target servers. And that's our one of unique advantages of Ansible compared to alternate tools. So it is agentless. What does it mean? Normally, when you want to use some tools on mission, you need to go mission and install an agent tool like
Yeah.
Ansible. Okay. However, you don't have to install anything on the target servers. You just install on one mission, which is your control, which is under your control mission. That is, you can consider master. Could be even your laptop, or that machine can now manage whole the fleet of target machines remotely, right? Manages servers remotely. That's what we are doing here. So that means, so you don't have any deployment effort beginning, and second, so you don't have upgrade your either your efforts either when you are moving to new Ansible version also. So by using the Ansible document, Ansible file, I mean Ansible in the sense YAML file, but there only you can able to do the changes. It means you don't need to have any deployment efforts, correct? So now this is probably help you to understand the basic concept of when Ansible is used. Okay. So I think I have crossed many all this, I guess. I'm not using it.
So now this Ansible needs to be installed in all the node servers also, or only in the master it's fine?
No, no, we have to install both.
Okay.
The
Then
connection
using
should be
everything
happen,
we will
right? Yeah,
okay.
the connection should be happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Okay, this four different ways. Let me try to. I think these pictures already we discussed. Four different types. Execute task from your own machine. Configuration and installation deployment steps using some YAML files. Okay. Reuse the same multiple times and for different environments. The same YAML files. Correct. More reliable and less key errors. Okay. Operating systems, cloud. So supporting all the infrastructure. So it will support for all the infrastructures. Example Mac, Linux, Windows, clouds also. Okay. Next, so it will be pushed into target server. So for example, this is, you can consider it as a um, your master. These are all your nodes. So whenever you want to push your software, so you can able to push into your nodes. This is called as push based mechanism. Clear? It is push based mechanism. Okay. Next, what are the modules? Create a cloud instance. Module is one small specific task. So different modules, different tasks. So modules are basically small programs that do actual work. Okay, they get sent from the control mission to the target server, so they can pushed out there. They do their job on the target server, like install the applications, stop the process, firewall rules, all such kind of activities. If they want to get removed, you can remove also. Okay, modules are very granular. One module does small specific tasks, so you have modules to create the copy file, modules to install the servers, any kind of, like example Nginx server. Okay, so you can able to install the server. So start using docker also, you can use the docker container with the some arguments, create cloud instances, such kind of one module. Using, you can create modules like that. So all these specific tasks represents a module. Okay, and Ansible has hundreds of modules that each execute the specific task. So like that. Okay, all cloud modules, database modules, like this. You see Jenkins model. You understood? You try to understand here. So it has modules for a many different cloud tools like AWS, Google Cloud. It has modules to work with the Docker or a many different databases, CI/CD tools, different networking security tools. Okay, and the list goes on like that. Lot of are there. So if you want to execute IT tasks, there is a high chance that there is an Ansible module do there. Okay, so you can see whole the list of modules here. Okay, so you create Jenkins, you see here, create Jenkins job using the basic authentication. So this is a Ansible uses the YAML language, which means it doesn't require learning by any special language, because it's just super what I can see, super easy, I guess I can say. So let's see some of examples here. I can scroll it down. You see, you try to understand this: creating a job, deleting a job. Okay, so you are creating a job. Earlier, what we have done using declarative method, correct? So now you are using with the module, which means you are writing a script here. Some examples here, you see, delete and create. So you can do it many different things like Jenkins. This is just example. Okay, just creating a job here and deleting the job using different arguments, correct? Next, you see Docker module, you see here, Docker module that can be used to create the restart and delete the containers, even apply some configuration them. So you see Docker, you create that container. Okay, you start the container, network related. So which means you create the container, start the container, apply the configuration. So you are doing it by using a YAML script only, correct? Rakesh, what is Docker file? That okay, that's okay, that's okay. I'm not asking what is it actually. We also used YAML scripting, that is also okay. So you can also use Terraform also. We are going to use YAML. Clear? Why Ansible is popular in the sense, that is the reason. YAML script actually. YAML script is very much popular. We are going to use it for infrastructure as a code. Yes, for automation tasks, correct. Docker containers also. Docker creating the containers, deleting containers, start the containers, for everything. So this is YAML script. Kubernetes also. Kubernetes also pods you will create using by Ansible. Sorry, YAML. YAML is playing highly big role. I'm saying YAML is very important. Do focus on right now. Okay, you should focus on it. In Kubernetes also, Kubernetes is a very big concept. So completely out of the box, which means you can't complete that Kubernetes within 10 days. It will take 1 or 2 months easy minimum. Okay, because Kubernetes also depend on YAML only. YAMLs without using YAML, you could not able to complete, could not able to write the, what is that, pod. Okay, everything you will do, whatever the deployments, whatever the all kind of services, you can able to write in YAML itself. Modules are very granular, I said, very specific. Obviously, when you are making some complex configuration or deployment and applications, so you will need multiple of such small modules in like certain sequence groups together, or whole configuration or steps to deploy the applications, whatever. Okay, Ansible playbooks come into the picture. So we can write everything. For example, if I want to do some automation also, you can write it using playbook, that is called as. So for example, this concept you can say, so you written something, so this is called as a playbook. Clear? You understood? Modules are module A. For suppose you have a module A, module B, module C, module D. Okay, so you are writing using YAML script. You are writing using YAML script, where you are writing with the different modules. For suppose, I'll show you picture better, you can understand. Okay, so you can understand module A, module B, module C, module D, like this. Okay, so like this. So you can consider this as a Ansible playbooks. Understood? Which means module A in the sense it is just simple box, but in the sense one module, it has some operation. Okay, I'll tell you here, I'll show you. So this is task. Okay, this task module name is there, correct? Name, rename the table, so for so something name is there, so that is module name. This is argument, there is some user you are going to keep. This is owner is some user. Okay, name is foo something, this is also one kind of model. And description of the task, what is the description? So truncate table FOO something, actually I have taken reference from somewhere in Ansible playbooks document. Okay, so names are like this only in the Ansible docs. Okay, so truncate is as something kind of this kind of module name, arguments, description, something like this. If you consider complete, this is a Ansible playbook. If you run this playbook, so the operation will be begin to start running it. You understood? First of all the sequential modules are grouped in the task, where each task makes sure module gets the executed certain arguments. These arguments. Okay. So so it will be little bit difficult to understand, but you can understand slowly. Okay. So here see, rename the table here. This is actually one playbook. Okay, here you are trying to write doing something here. One task you are creating. In this task, this is actually parent. Under parent, these are all child. Okay, so this is called as indentation. You have seen this already, right? Docker files. Okay, set the owner. You are setting the owner here. Okay, next to truncate the table, which means description you are keeping. Okay, so you are giving the instruction, different instructions. Okay, you are making it as a one file. This file you can consider it as a playbook. If you run this playbook, this operation will be executed. Can you understand? Did you understand this? So here you have a module file that basically creates the directory of nginx. You see, can you see here nginx path? You see the path to nginx directory. When you have a module that install nginx, and then you have a service module that start the install the nginx, and that will get executed exactly the sequence. That will be configuration, one configuration to say that now we have actually defined sequence of tasks should be executed like this. For example, you are creating nginx, you mentioned the path. After that, install nginx a latest version. Okay, it will take the version. After that, start the nginx. After that, state is started, which means one by one task is executing by one. So this modules you have written and kept in one file. So thus complete file you can consider it as a playbook. Understood? If you execute the, for example, Ansible playbook, you can write. Okay, you if you execute this, one by one task will be executed. It will create it. After that, it will install it with the latest, and after that, it will start the nginx. After that, you will get the statement like started something kind of. This is how. That is the reason it will be useful. So I mentioned here a lot of examples. Okay. So and we also define with the user those tasks should be executed, and the remote user is the user that will be executed the task of the server. Okay, where you should these tasks execute, where hosts. Okay, host in the sense your machine. You understood? You know, the host is a terminology. Host in the sense your server. So where users in the sense nodes. You should these tasks execute in the host. With which user you should task execute? Remote user in the somewhere infra will be there, that you are going to take it as a granted, which means you will take the permission, you will get the access. In that system you are going to execute the your task. Clear? Okay, here we are connecting with the root user, but you can also connect with the non-user. So then escalate like good user privileges if needed. Okay, right. Next, so this is indentation, man. You see this? This is parent. I also explained you before, I think in Docker itself, I guess, for Docker file, some at that moment also I explained parent and child policy, something kind of example. I mentioned Modi and all prime ministers will be one level, all chief minister will be one level, all MLAs will be on one level. For example, in our family also, your mother and parent will be the top level. Those are all same category. And your brother is one level. Your brother and your sister both are in same age, so they will comes into one level. So you guys will be kid, for suppose. So you guys will be in a different level. So this strict rules, strict indentation you need to follow using Ansible. Whenever you use Ansible playbooks without this indentation, if you do execute, that will be fail. Okay, this is highly and important rules. So if you start with the, if you start newly something, you need to mention something. For example, here actually host is database. Okay, so this is over. So under this only, this is main. Under this you are writing some different, this is separate task, this is separate task, this is separate task. Okay, these three are same level, but this is a different level, this is a main. Okay, task 1 here actually rename the table FO4 to bar. So they are actually making a table name is first FO4. After that he changed name it as a bar. Clear? Next one is a permission, owner, some user. Name is actually FO4 starting. After that owner is some user. So don't focus on these names. Okay, just try to understand the concept. Okay, so as I said, YAML is very intuitive, simple language, but it is very strict about limitations. So, and um indentation. Okay, so here you can see lot of indentations are very Ansible is, I can't say Ansible, YAML is highly, very much strict about this indentation. It's very important. Okay, so next, let's see next slide. Yeah, you see this Ansible playbooks use variables for repeating the values. Okay, so which is used in many different places. So you can use variables in Ansible, and they, and the way to do is the same, I guess. You see, different ways. So it is a root and a task, you see rename. See different ways you can write, you try to understand. So this is also task, this is also task. Here is keeping rename the table, something like they have mentioned something like this with the flower brackets, but the concept is same, the execution will be same, but you need to follow the proper indentation properly. Okay, variables, they have taken variables here. Variable name is table name equal to foo, table owner is some user. But what happened, instead of keeping all the names everywhere, so what happened, actually they have taken the variables. We have discussed these variables in somewhere, um, shell script, I guess, shell script, I guess. Docker also variables. Yes, yes, exactly. So here actually they mentioned only table name, the value. Okay, keys and values. You are mentioning here variable name. Just you are calling with the variable names here. So everywhere you see you are not particularly mentioned. What happens here? If you, for example, if you change here with the table name is Rakesh and owner name is Lokesh, so automatically that will be changes. The task automatically takes. But here is not like that. So here everywhere you need to change. This is the difference. That's it. Variables repeating the values here. Okay. So we can also use in the Ansible, sorry, YAML. We can also use different types. Okay. Next, playbook equal to one or more plays. Multiple playbooks also we can write in one playbook. You understood? You see here, host web server. For task one you mentioned something name, which is directory some path. We already seen this, so it is also installed in the Nginx, and after that Nginx is started. Again here we are actually keeping other task, which is database. See here, this database is not under the task. Can you see? It is different. So we started from the scratch again, which means this is different level. tasks, whatever this is, whatever the privileges this have, that will be in the same level. Host, database, remote user is root. Again this task, you see, the task is comes under the same level, but these tasks under database, these tasks under web servers. You understood? So like that, this is one playbook, this is one playbook, which means multiple playbooks also you can able to play, you can able to execute at a time. Understood? So this will be useful in the Kubernetes. So same multiple playbooks we are going to use. We can use individual also, we can use multiple also. Understood? Multiple playbooks in single YAML file. In the single YAML file we are writing multiple playbooks, that's it, nothing else. Okay, next, good practices naming place. So you need to mention clearly properly. Okay, so whenever you are when where this following test get executed, web server host, and we have another play, so where a bunch of tasks get executed, database host, and these files contains the multiple playbooks called playbook. So just that I'm just telling different multiple playbooks we can use. And also we should be very much careful of playing giving the names. Okay, plain English text only. So whatever play does, okay, whatever the names is, you need to specifically you need to mention the names. Okay, so machines models are which part of the task should be executed in other words. Okay, so how, in which order, what time and where, which machine, what should be executed, you should be very much clear about the playbook. You need to give specific uh, flow, proper flow, orchestrate, you can say orchestration, it orchestrate the module execution and in a playbook. When you can name your place using the name attributes, just like you name a task something, so orchestration happens. Okay, so earlier I have shown you names, variables, using variables. Okay, and also in the Ansible inventory list, inventory in the sense host has different IP addresses, correct? So those IP addresses you can able to mention here, that is called as inventory list. Okay, for suppose it should be in the host system. For example, I have 10 nodes, for suppose 10 nodes, I can make it as a group. For example, a 5 system is a one group and 5 systems are one group, for suppose. So I can create a groups and I can keep, for example, web server. In this case, you see this web servers, two hosts are there. Okay, one is 10.24.0.1, another one is 10.24.0.2. These two are comes under web servers. For suppose I can keep all the web servers related in one group and database related in the one group. Okay, so you can able to access like this. Clear? So this is called as inventory list. But just try to keep in mind. So this terminologies. Okay, so which means an end, you will have host file that basically keeps a list of inventory, where the inventory all the machines are involved in the Ansible task executions, and you can define the entire entries in the host file, IP addresses and host in, not only IP addresses, you can give the host names also. Okay, you see here like this, you see here in the host file you have mentioned your IP addresses, but here I mentioned only host names. Clear? You can also give the host names, also you can give the IP addresses like this. That's it. Inventory, you can keep all the inventories, you can mention all the your host related information here, automatically it will connect there. Okay, uh, that's it, I think. Next, I'll see next slide. Ansible inventory list with groups, I already covered this. We can make it as a group. Okay, so nothing, same slide I'm repeating here. Okay, you see here Ansible for Docker. Okay, one second, my system got battery down. right? So here you see, so usually when you want to create the Docker containers, you write the Docker files, right? Which basically prepares the application environment. So you have an application artifact, which could be jar file or var file, some jar file for example. And when you define the Docker file, which config file, right? A pool, and then you define the Docker file, which config file should be copied into environment. Maybe directory should be created where the logs files will be stored, and you define the set of environment variables, and maybe also copying start script, and it should be executed. Let's say before the application start, so all these basically prepares the environment before application starts. This will be taken care. Okay, the environment for the application startup and redocker file, and it will produce a Docker container with the application, and it's prepared environment with the Ansible. You can actually create alternative Docker file, which means which is more powerful, and you can take the same type of configuration with the application artifact, that all these things. Huh? So here you can able to try to understand Docker file is there, right? App.jar something. So this will be created before setting the environment. So everything, whatever Docker file is, see, you need to compare, Rakesh. Earlier, whatever Docker files we have used, before executing that, before run the Docker files, we used to set up all these things, right? Environment variable, start script, log directories, some different application related. We used to write in Docker files. Okay, we used to prepare it, right? And we used to keep in the container later. Okay, the same way, try to understand, try to compare with the Ansible and Docker file, almost similar I'm saying. So you are here also app.jar, same kind of environment variable, start script, everything will be same. But here what happens is actually, so containers, cloud instance, and bare metals, so we can able to do all in all areas by using Playbook. But Docker file you can only do in Docker container. But Docker Playbook, sorry, Ansible Playbook, you can able to execute in the different all the environments, which means produce the app across the many environments. You understood? So that is weight, that much weight it has. You understood? That much weight. Okay, the environment of the application start up with the read Docker. It contains the application whatever. So Docker file only creates the Docker containers. Okay, but playbooks, okay, application artifact, all these things around it, instead of just creating Docker container, you can basically create a Docker container. You can create the container it, deploy it, and application and all these environment, cloud instances, bare metal server. Basically what it means is the Ansible allows you to produce the all the application across the many environments, and not only Docker container, also containers, cloud instance, bare metals. You know bare metal already, right? Hmm? Bare metal in the sense it's a manual process kind of local machines. Okay, so let's see another see this Ansible playbook. So Ansible playbook, you'll write Ansible playbook. Okay, for Docker I'm saying. Okay, you can write the Ansible playbook, and uh, you can keep it in host machine, and you can execute it. It will start the container, Docker container. That's how we can able to create the Docker also. Ansible tower. Oh, this Ansible tower is a old concept actually. Okay, Ansible tower is actually UI based, user graphical interface. Okay, UI based dashboard from Red Hat, which basically gives you to centrally store all the automation tasks across the teams, where you can the configure permissions for these teams, who can access the execute the task, where you can manage. Okay, where you can manage your inventory and have good overview of the jobs, have run their health status. Okay, I did not use Ansible tower actually, I didn't get chance actually. but we have used in previous projects, but I didn't get chance to work on this Ansible tower. That's too long back we used to use. Now not using Ansible towers. Okay. So I also mentioning that one more thing, Ansible and Puppet and Chef. You try to understand because these are all competitors, Chef and Puppet for Ansible. Okay. Most popular is Ansible. Being Puppet, okay, being Puppet and Chef, there are two main reasons why Ansible may be popular. The alternate tools are actually for Ansible is Chef and Puppet. The first one is that Ansible uses the simple YAML structure for the task. Puppet and Chef use Ruby, clear, which is more difficult to learn. Huh? Yeah, so Ruby is difficult to understand first. Okay, it will take time for understanding if you want to keep concentration, but it's little. So you see, if you see ML automatically, you can able to understand just simple. It will be in a readable, simple English language, correct? ML, but Ruby is not like that. We have to use language kind of. It's you will feel language kind of experience. Okay, the people who does not don't want to learn new language, just want to get started with new tool, immediately just no second thought, go something YAML. Okay, one is YAML is very easy to understand. Reading, it's general English language, you can read it easy, right? It's not like any kind of simple. It's not language, just simple scripted, right? Just script. One thing is something that I mentioned beginning in the Ansible. It's actually agent based. It means meaning that instead of having install agent every system, okay, every system to manage, you just need only SSH access, correct? Whereas Puppet and Chef, just like any other tool, you have to install in the manage their updates those target systems also. Okay. So Ansible is like similar automation tools that most benefits when you have complex environments. There are many moving parts like multiple servers, dependent applications, complex application and configuration, where it could be even critical to use automation tools in order to prevent the human errors. Very tedious time, like kind of. Okay, whereas it's simpler setup with the just single node and the master node, single server, most like more straightforward configuration. This is kind of, it is just optional to such automation tools, which means you can say, man, simple. Ansible is like master and slave method. So we also discussed in Jenkins while we are discussing about it. So it's just like master and slave. There is connection between one master and a slave, which means I'm saying using Ansible also you can able to create a Docker files, some like that. You can able to manage Docker also by using Ansible. I'm saying clear. By using Docker file also you can do it, but by using Ansible also you can do that. Creating containers. That is the reason it is very flexible and easy to understand, because while you are writing no while you are writing this YAML script, that is different actually. Docker file is different. Okay, I understood. You may have mentioned some instructions like from CMD work directory. That's okay, but it's a kind of that. I'm saying similar in the sense you are not going to use anywhere instructions. Okay, in Docker file you have clearly mentioned some instructions in the Docker file, but in the playbooks you are going to follow indentation rule. Clear? but it looks similar, which means you are going to use the file right there, normal simple file. You are going to execute that in the Docker file. Here in this, you are going to write in YAML script with the extension .yaml. Without extension, it is not possible. Okay. So with extension, one file, you are going to write all the script in the sense different instructions. Same by following the indentation rule, you are going to write the playbooks. One playbook in the sense one YAML file. That's it. Understood? Nothing else. Because this is a technical terminology. We have to use that. Clear? I think more slides we have. I guess what is this? That's it. I think no slides. Okay. So I think it is bit little it will take time, little time to understand for you. So this is simply a theory. I just wanted to keep in front of you this terminologies and one concept in front of you, because this is the first day, right? No problem. So actually I prepared this slides by taking reference of a lot of places. Okay, but it's easy, man. It's easy actually. So just you are connecting, simply you try to understand, just you are connecting with one machine to different servers using SSH connection. That's it. Okay, and you are taking access from those machines by using SSH connection. Okay, did you had any experience with this Bastion server in AWS? Yes. If you have an idea with the Bastion server, you can understand the Ansible. Oh yeah, got it. So Bastion server is actually a jump server in AWS actually. So there also same concept we will use. Okay, we will take the access from the SSH connection. It's not like Ansible, but SSH connection I'm talking about. Through SSH connection only you are going to connect with the private server. So there is no any public key there. For example, database is there. For example, database is there inside. I think there will be a databases in companies, right? So you will not the public and people does not get any access for database related access to everyone. So in that case, what happens is admins will have a separate special access using SSH connection. So for their systems, they can able to access through SSH connection. Okay, through which only they can able to enter. So not directly public access, public IP address will not be able to available for all the people, everybody, users, even including users, even including developers, even including managers, etc etc also. Only database administrators only have that SSH connection access to this database. Clear? Through which only they, if you want to, if they want to do modification, they can do it related to database. Clear? And there through using that SSH connection, so we will keep one separate instance for that. Okay, so for using private IP address of server, and also using private IP address of your system, they can connect each other. So that's how they can able to take access from the database. Okay, so if you give access to the public, what happens? Security breach happens. Okay, database is a sensitive topic. So that is how gem server are able to create actually in AWS. Yes, if you have a time, just go through what is gem server. That's easy actually, right? So that's it. Let's see configuration tomorrow. If it is possible, I will try to do it and I'll show you. Else, you directly do it. So I'll be there always. You are having a good support from my side, right? So that's it, Rakesh. That's all about just introduction about Ansible. Let's tomorrow we are going to do configuration between nodes and the master. Okay, right? Thank you so much, Rakesh. Well,